my friends, Matthew here. Today, I'm going to talk about my time in a country called France. Stay tuned, you don't want to miss it. France is one of the most famous countries in the world, known for its rich history, stunning architecture, incredible cuisine, and lasting cultural influence. From the iconic Eiffel Tower and the romantic streets of Paris to world-renowned fashion houses, fine wines, and delicious pastries, France has captivated people for centuries. It's also a country that's shaped art, literature, science, and politics on a global scale. Walking on Old Nice, one thing that's really cool about coming to Old Nice is that there are many restaurants and shops you can go. Unfortunately, many restaurants in Old Nice is expensive. There are very few places that's cheap, but I don't know how good they are. I'm just giving you an information about what the Old Nice look like. It is definitely right next to the French Riviera, which is really cool. It's definitely worth going to both those places in one day. At Château de Nice, it is on a hill located next to Old Nice. One cool part about going to the Château de Nice is that you get to have a panoramic view of the French Riviera and Nice. Also, there is a cascade if you're into waterfalls and stuff. They also have a playground, so if you have kids and you want to let them play, that's also a good place to hang out. There is a lift. It is free, but there are certain circumstances where you cannot take the lift, usually because of bad weather conditions and holidays. It's really cool to come check it out if you ever do come to Nice. Standing here on one of the beaches where the French Riviera is, instead of white sandy beaches, it's actually rocky beaches. You won't have any sands on your feet. The water's pretty nice. Not too cold, so it's really cool to come here. I am here in Paris. That behind me is the Eiffel Tower, which dates back to 1887. Purpose of the Eiffel Tower was to celebrate the 100th anniversary of the French Revolution. It is cool to come here. This is one of the historical monuments in Paris. You do have the option to go up to the tower. Unfortunately, you do have to pay. There are other options. You can go to the top of the tower for a better deal. This is a must. There's also a park right next to the Eiffel Tower. It's really cool. You can take a good picture from there. Definitely recommend it. I am here on one of the bridges by the Eiffel Tower. Behind me is the Seine River in Paris. There are multiple cruise options you can take if you want to go on a cruise on the Seine River. This is one of the best parts about coming to Paris is the Seine River. You can even walk along the Seine River. I am here inside the Sainte-Chapelle. This is a popular tourist spot where you need to make reservations. I am here at the Notre Dame in Paris, which is right next to the Sainte-Chapelle. This is one of the popular tourist attractions. Look how many people are behind me. The good thing is you do not need to make a reservation, and it is free to get in. The Notre Dame Cathedral dates back to 1163. And this is one of the popular spots because of how well designed the cathedral is. I just got out of the Notre Dame. I could not talk inside because I stepped in during the mass. During the mass, all tourists have to stay silent. You can still take photos and videos inside, but you cannot talk during the service. I have to say, coming to the Notre Dame Cathedral, it's amazing. It's mind-blowing to see how well designed the interior parts of the cathedral is. It's that amazing. This place gets flooded with tourists all the time. So just be prepared to be in a long line. It's even though there's hundreds of tourists coming to the Notre Dame, it's still worth it. I am here at the Picasso Museum in Paris. This is a really cool part about coming to Paris is that in the Picasso Museum, it is named after Pablo Picasso. In the museum, it contains all of his devotions and times into the sculptures and paintings. It's really cool to come see all the times he put in. It's definitely worth coming here. Whether you have a museum pass or not, it's so worth it. I am here at the Latin Quarter in Paris, not too far from the Notre Dame. The significance of the Latin Quarter is this is where Latin languages were taught during the Middle Ages. If you go to Rue de la Huchette, which is the main street in the Latin Quarter, it's really cool to come here. Clips I'm showing you, most places are not open because it's morning, but if you go after lunchtime, it starts to get packed. There's a lot of shops and restaurants. It's really cool to come check it out. I am at the Louvre. This is the main popular tourist spots in Paris. Unfortunately, you do have to make reservations due to high demand. It is loud because it's very hollow. The Louvre is a museum where it has all the antiques, the objects, and the painting collections. One thing you gotta be aware about if you're gonna come to the Louvre is this is where pickpockets happen. Never put anything in the back pockets. Always put them in front of you and you'll be safe. I am here at the exhibit hall. Behind me is how many people are taking the pictures for the Mona Lisa, which was painted by Leonardo da Vinci. It is a lot of people, so just giving you a heads up of what it looks like. So I am here at the Arc de Triomphe in Paris, which dates back to the 1800s, which was commissioned by Napoleon to celebrate the French military victories. Now I am in the middle of the roads, but as long as I don't go past the lines, I'm okay. This is one of the popular spots in Paris. It's so worth it. If you have a museum pass, you should purchase the ticket. The ticket is included. You should go inside the Arc de Triomphe and go up to the top. It's so worth it. I am here on top of the Arc de Triomphe. I mean, to be honest, it's actually better than going to the top of the Eiffel Tower, which, because I have a museum pass, so this ticket here is included. But just coming here, it's amazing to see the view of the city of Paris. So you can see Montparnasse, you can see Montmartre, the Latin Quarter, the Notre Dame, Eiffel Tower, you name them. That's how big Paris is. It's amazing. So I am here at the Palace of Versailles, or in Francais, Chateau de Versailles. This is one of the popular tourist spots outside of Paris. It is RER accessible. The chateau dates back to 1661, which was where King Louis XIV once lived there. It is really cool to come check it out. Reservation is required. I am in the upper level of the Chateau de Versailles, and in this hall, I'm showing you in the clip, look at all the ceiling paintings, all the designs. This is what's mind-blowing. I am here in the Chateau of Versailles, Chateau de Versailles. This is the chapel part, and the interior's insane. I am here at Montmartre in Paris. You can't take the metro all the way up. Look behind me, as you can see the rest of Paris. It is amazing. This is one of the places where you can come for free. It's really cool. It's so worth it to come up here, even though there's a lot of people. All right, so here are some of the maneuver tips in France. The first maneuver tips is related to public transportations. Paris and Nice are walkable cities. In fact, you do not need a car, and it's actually more expensive to drive than to take the public transits. So if you want to save money as a budget traveler in walkable cities, utilize the public transits. In Nice, they have their public transits on buses and trams, while in Paris, they have the metro, RER, buses and trams, including the funicular if you plan to go to Montmartre. The second maneuver tip is regarding museums. If you plan to go to certain museums such as the Louvre or Conciergerie or the Sainte-Chapelle, you have to make reservations, and they fill up quick in the summer. Speaking of museums, what I recommend is if you plan to visit multiple museums, including Chateau de Versailles in Paris, I recommend using the museum pass. This saved me so much money by using the museum pass, because not only it's included when making reservations, but you'll get to see how much money you saved if you go through about 3 to 4 museums a day. You'll see the difference. The next maneuver tip is pickpockets. Pickpockets doesn't just happen in metros. They happen throughout the whole city of Paris, and they pickpocket in multiple methods. Examples are the bracelet method, which they put on the bracelet for you and they ask you for money. Another one is the petitions. They want to ask you to sign a petition, which is fake. Pickpockets do happen throughout the entire city of Paris. If they offer you something for free, walk away, politely say no to it. The next maneuver tip is interacting with the locals. Anytime when you interact with the locals, they take their culture seriously. So in this case, when you interact with them, always start talking to them in French. You start with bonjour or bonsoir. Bonjour means good morning or good day, and bonsoir means good evening. And then you end the conversation with merci, which is thank you. If you like to speak English to them, start with parlez-vous anglais, which means do you speak English? If you do not speak French to them, they will refuse to speak English with you, or they will look angry at you because you're not taking the culture seriously. So best way, start talking to them in French and you'll be okay. The next one is cuisines. Some of the recommended cuisines are the beef bourguignon or the bœuf bourguignon. Another food I definitely recommend is the ratatouille. This is good if you're vegetarian or vegan. If you're into sweet treats, some of the foods I recommend are the macaroons and their crepes. The next one is restaurants. In restaurants, especially in Paris, if you see any restaurants that has the red canopies, chances are they are tourist restaurants, which means they will charge you more of a decent to subpar service. If you don't want that, stay away from the tourist restaurants. You'll be okay. Also, in restaurants, you do not treat waiters or waitresses as servants. You treat them as people. There is a difference, and they will know if you're treating them as servants or not. Treat them as people. They like to take their time. Respect them with their time also. When you order food, culinary is their passion. Unless you have any food allergies, food substitution is considered an insult. Do not bother doing food substitution. At least try it, and they will see how much you appreciate the culture. The good thing is that tap water is free. The last one is do not expect Paris to be a highly romanticized city. Paris is not like the ones you see in the movies, such as Midnight in Paris. In fact, Paris is a very busy, crowded city. It is very different than what you see in the movie. So the best way is do not come to Paris with an expectation of that it is a highly romanticized city. So I hope you enjoyed watching my time in France. Thank you so much for watching. I will see y'all later. Au revoir. Bye.